Hey everybody, it's SaskiaSketches and today's video is going to be a ramble about style. Okay, so I wanted to draw in all the different sub-styles that make up my style. If you've been around this channel for a while, you'll know that I draw in a lot of different styles. So I have my anime style, my semi-realism style, I have a ton of different ways I draw, and I draw with a ton of different supplies as well. So I have a lot of different, my style's very varied, I'd say. So it's versatile. I have a lot of different ways that I draw, and I consider all of those my style. And like I said before, all those, I guess my style is made up of a ton of different sub-styles, and I wanted to map them all out, and I thought, hey, why not make a video about style as I do that? So here we are. So the first one that I tackled here is my semi-realism style, and in this style I tend to sketch in ballpoint pen and then colour it with watercolours, or I'll sketch in a fine liner and draw and colour it with alcohol markers or something like that. But I stick to mostly realistic proportions, and I only vary in facial expression. Sometimes if I have an animal, I give it a more expressive look than it would normally have. So you look at Rogue's here and you'll see that he doesn't really look like a normal fox in the facial department, but for the rest he looks pretty much like an ordinary fox. Except that his fur is blue, of course. And the next style here is my minimalistic style, and I like to use gouache for this one. Here is where I draw animals. I don't really draw humans in this style, but whenever I draw an animal here, I stick to mostly realistic proportions, but I make it really minimalistic. So I keep to I stick to very simple shapes, and I don't really do any shading. It's just flat colors, and there isn't much detail involved in this style either. And I really I think it's a big contrast between the minimalistic style and the semi-realistic style, but it's still very much me, and I really enjoy this style as well. So originally I was going to talk a little bit about what style actually is in this video, but I don't think I will, because I mean, style is just what you make of it, really. It's a combination of yourself, of inspiration, and of the rules that you set for this style. So if you would like a tutorial on how to make a style, I would, but you'll have to let me know in the comments, because this one I guess I'll just kind of, I don't know, explain my own style and how you know, I draw, and I just really enjoy that, and I think that's a cool video, much cooler than just, I don't know, me rambling and having just a big video that just doesn't really have any structure, because I'm not a fan of that. And in case you haven't noticed, by the way, I'm drawing Rogues for all of these styles, and Rogues is my character, he's from my screenplay, and if you want to read that, I'll have a link in the description down below. And this really is one of my favorite sub-styles, man. I really enjoy the look of this one, and I still I'm not as familiar with this one because I don't draw in it as often, but I do still really enjoy it. And yeah, I use like I said, I'm not as familiar with this one just yet, but I'll hopefully be familiar enough with it soon. I just have to use some heavy references for this one still. So for this one, I again stick with mostly realistic proportions, except in the face. The face is really very different because this one is inspired by those animated Disney styles, and it's really, in those styles, it's really prominent to have these expressive faces, because you're telling a story and your characters need to be able to express their feelings and their emotions. Which is just really important if you're making a story like that. Especially if your characters are animals, you're going to have to really think about how you're going to make those faces look expressive, because animals usually don't have that many facial expressions, and they can't really express their emotions through their face very much. So you're going to have to stylize that part of the animal very heavily if you're going to make an entire film with the character like that. And now we've moved on to anime style, and this one again is one of my favorites. I really enjoy all of these. I really enjoy making things look like they're actually from an anime, and I think that this method that I have for drawing that digitally really helps with that. And oh man, I just really enjoy the look of that, and I just love it. I really do. Especially this line work, man. I really enjoy that. So for the anime, as if you've ever studied anime, you'll know that the line work is as boring as it's gonna get. It's very thin lines and no line weight variation, and not really any texture details unless you're drawing something that's very fluffy, or you have some lines indicating folds and close and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it's just drawing the bare minimum and just outlining things basically. And now that I look back at it, I probably could have gone with even thinner lines. I still need to figure out a good method for making my style, my anime style, look very old. Like the one that I have here looks mostly new, but I really want to make a style that looks like it's really old anime. So like maybe not really old, but I guess Cowboy Bebop and Wolf's Rain and those kind of styles. I really want to figure out how to do that. But still, I really enjoyed the way this one looks, and yeah, I just this is my favorite trick ever, to throw over a blur and to make it look anime that way. It's just that looks so cool, man. I only realized this after it's too late, but the anime one doesn't have a shadow underneath, so whoops. But I guess that's okay. Not all of them have shadows, but yeah, I probably should have done that. This next one is also anime, but it's traditional anime this time, and I do this with markers and with fine liners. So I would first sketch out my drawing, and then I would line it with the thinnest fine liner that I have, or one of the thinnest, and then I colour it with my markers and add some shell shading with my markers, because I feel like that always works quite well with alcohol-based markers. I'm not overly fond of how this one came out, because I feel like I can do a lot better. I feel like I picked the wrong paper to draw on this time, which was unfortunate, but I suppose it happens. I kind of just want to draw another one just to prove that I can, you know. But I really do enjoy the way this line work came out. I think the line work looks so cool. The where I went wrong, I think, was the blue, because I really wanted to try out my new brush markers, but they just weren't really the ones that I should have used. The colour wasn't the greatest, and the coverage wasn't perfect either. I don't know if that was the paper or if that was the markers, but I do really like the overall look of the drawing. I think the pose is nice, and the markers themselves do actually quite a great job, especially the Copic ones that I used. And yeah, I just I kind of wish I did it a little bit differently, or like the colors would have come out a little bit differently. That would have made it look more anime. I don't like this blue. It's not anime. But it happens, and you just gotta move on. Oh, and it seems like I lost some footage here, but I did two more styles. One was a brush pen sketch, and one was this one where I draw in the super old style that, like, pretty much the first style that I ever had. And here's me trying to figure out how to fit them all on one page. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed making this video. I think it was a really good way to, I don't know, get all those styles in one place, and to actually, I don't know, create some sort of overview of all the different substyles that I have, to have my style, I guess, amalgamated into one page. And to do a video on it and explain my style to you guys, I guess that's also fun, right? I had fun with it anyways. And if you guys want some sort of tutorial on how to make a style, or how to discover quote unquote your style, let me know in the comments, and maybe it'll happen. I also just really enjoy how this page turned out. I really like the composition of it, I guess. And if you can like twist it and turn it, you'll see I don't know, all the different styles and stuff. I think that's fun. I also added over like a big protective plastic sheet thing, because those things weren't really sticking well, so that's the only way that I had to kind of put it all together. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more art videos every single Friday. Have a great weekend, guys, and keep on sketching. Bye!